Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. Welcome to my closet. I'm sorry you see the clutter. I wanted to film in this area of the house because most of my decks are in here and because I get most of the lighting in this area. So I wanted to make a tarot video because I haven't done one in a while. And this is the OG Shamanic decks video. I'm not sure if it's a Northeastern thing that I say OG, but I have gotten questions asking what that meant. So OG is original gangster, and I just say it for short. But I did take a 6-month hiatus on not working with other decks besides my own. So I'm sorry I keep bringing it up in my most recent videos, but I did create a deck and it did give me a different perspective, especially on being a consumer. I still consider myself a tarot collector, but it impacts the way that I look at other decks on if I would add it to my collection. So I wouldn't say never that I'm not going to build up my collection, but since I've been creating things not only with my deck, I have 2 more in the works, and I have other hobbies that I've been developing during that gap too. There's also been self-development and overall transformation. It's an amazing time right now, so I think it's definitely great to come back to it and look at my decks. Sorry, I have to adjust myself because my foot fell asleep. So it's great to be looking back into my decks since having that hiatus. So this video isn't going to show all of my shamanic decks, but the ones that really speak to me and the ones that a lot of them I've been using for years, and they're the they're more than the go-to decks. They're the ones that really, you know. So I'm going to start off with my Daughters of the Moon tarot. So I keep it in here, and this is a desert rose on top. This is the first gift that my husband gifted me. So this is the extra card that has information. And it's the 1986 copy. I didn't color these. I actually have another one that I colored. It's the newer version because this was taking time to arrive, and my husband and I were long distance in the beginning, so I wanted to try out the deck. So I got the black and white version off of the website, and I did trim it significantly, so there's nudity in here and even the back. I did do a comparison with my smaller deck to this one. And I love the imagery so much, I actually got one of the cards as a tattoo, which is the Coyote Woman. It's on my Instagram. But that one is the newer edition image, so you could kind of see it. So it is a gentle but moving deck, and Sacred Feminine decks aren't the ones that I connect to the most, so this one's special to me. I feel like it has more of balance. It has a balance of dark and light. And it doesn't really hold back, especially with the imagery. And it puts it all out there. So I like that in a deck. I'll do longer videos on some of my decks, but I did want to show ones that I'm getting back into because I know that I love them. So these two decks I've had for a long time. They're not my first copies. And with these two, I feel like people give me the Crown Royal bags frequently. And a fact about myself, I'm a licensed bartender. So even before that, I got the purple one. I don't have the green one, but I love the purple color. So in here has the medicine cards and oops. The Sacred Path cards. I kept my original books because I had notes. This one is the 1988 edition. This one I just got with the deck. I really wanted the one that had an actual cardstock to it. So I love the first one that I had. The only thing is, I feel like with these decks, the ones by Jamie Sam, the cardstock is frequently changing, and even in the beginning, there's a darker version of this with a different colored book, and then there was one with thinner cardstock, and then it got back to thicker cardstock, but it was more laminated, and the imagery was more brighter, but darker tones. This one is more of the faded color that I love. And I wanted them to have the similar cardstock. So I'm not going to really get into all my decks because of the time, but I got the one with the teal book. And there's notes in the back that you can take, a notes section in the back that you can write in. And with the original ones too, or the earlier ones, there are less animals. So there are 44 in the one that I have. I love these cards because I love animal, nature, Fae decks. I'll have a lot of videos on Faery decks because I have a lot of Faery decks. I have traded some of them off to people that use them frequently, so I'm happy that they were able to get use out of them. So Mary Bow on YouTube introduced me to this deck. She told me, I think you're gonna love this deck. It took me a while to get to actually buy the deck, but once I bought the deck, I was immediately connecting to it. I love the imagery. It's a little more rougher and it looks a bit masculine, but it feels feminine too, which I love. And Mary Bow is a Blackfoot Indian. She has gifted me a beautiful dream catcher. It's called the Thunderbird. And it's the most beautiful dream catcher I've ever seen. So I'll quickly mention my other two decks, which is a kind of like one deck. Then I'll have to upload this and talk about my other deck that I was going to talk about. But I have two the Animal Wise Tarots by Ted Andrews. This is in the back. I changed the back because the backs weren't fitted to the size of the card. So this isn't one that I carry around too much, but I do love having it. And this was a special one. I consider this a second edition because I have the first edition. But I consider this a second edition because the borders are actually a lighter maroon color than the most recent ones. The recent edition and the most recent edition is also kind of see-through too. This one is, you can't see through it. So it's a better cardstock too. And I do work with my first edition differently than this one. So I'm going to get to that one because I'm running out of time. But I wanted this one because of the borders and the color. This one I read more fully, and this one I actually, the saying on the card is the one that sparks the intuition and psychic abilities. So I've wanted this for a really long time. I got it last year after searching for it. Oh, and for the medicine cards, there is even a mini version too. If you want to see that, Mary has that on her channel. So I'm going to continue making another video with this once I upload this. I'll be back. So my last deck is an honorable mention. This is the Sustain Yourself Cards and Handbook to Live Well and Live Long by James Wanness. This is the creator of the Voyager Tarot. It's an uncommon deck, but you can find it online. I found this in a local metaphysical shop, but it was the last one there. So I feel like this goes hand in hand with the Journey into Nature, A Spiritual Adventure by Michael J. Rhodes. I will be doing a review on this. It's validating and it's an amazing book. So when I use this deck, it gives the energy of interconnectedness with the universe. And that's one of the main themes in this book, or the main parts of the story. It's a gripping cardstock, but I do like cards like this. It also reminds me of astral traveling, too. If you'd like to see a flip through of this, I could do that. This is the guidebook. There's small pictures in here too. I enjoyed making this video. I know that many of my videos on this channel and on my last channel were tarot based, so it's nice to do them again, besides the ones that I've been doing recently, which is mainly about my deck, which I love doing, but I do have a lot of decks that I would like to show too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was interesting. I'll see you in another video.